All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Traversing the Veil. Yes, this is one of my homebrew D&D campaigns set in my weird, messed up homebrew D&D campaign setting, and the people below me are the people that are all really excited to try to remember what happened the last time we played. So we will see what happens.
We activated a Manchurian candidate, and now we're going to go to a prison jailbreak.
Sure. Yeah. Announcer moments. D&D has ended. The Empire has fallen. No. There was an announcement made earlier today. Foundry Virtual Tabletop. It now has an official licensing contract with Dungeons & Dragons to officially carry their products, and part of that license included them basically updating all of their D&D 5th edition systems. So they have new character sheets. They have all these new systems to make it run better. I do not use Foundry. I think it's overly complicated, and I like Roll20. But this just goes to show you all the people claiming that D&D was going to wipe out the virtual tabletop market. We're 100% wrong. They're partnering with every major tabletop company right now. They've officially partnered with Demiplane. They've been partnered with Roll20 for a while. And they just announced a partnership with Foundry. So if you want to use a virtual tabletop, you have a lot of choices.
What's the company that works with Demio?
Is that Demiplane? I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not Demiplane. It's because there was a Demio. They're actually the same people now. They're D&D's working with them too.
Yeah,
For
they've been expanding a lot and doing a lot of licensing and stuff like that, which is kind of Hasbro's MO. Hasbro loves to license. Like Hasbro will buy IPs and then license them off so that they don't actually have to do any production work and they can just make passive income.
That's Resolution Games.
So yeah, if you are a fan of Foundry, which I know there are a lot of people that prefer it massively over Roll20 and everything else. If you're a fan of Foundry, this is amazing, wonderful news. And from what I have read, the changes themselves look awesome. So that's super, super cool. Also, Hasbro is selling Dungeons and Dragons to China.
No, they're not.
Which is not happening either.
I was wondering if you read that article.
Yeah, no, somebody poorly translated a Chinese article. There's a company called Tencent which owns everything.
Yeah.
And
but if you actually read if you read the last part of the article, they're talking about optioning for rights.
Yeah.
For electronic digital games.
So it's actually happening. Tencent is a holding company. It's Chinese based. They own a crap ton of stuff. One of the things that they own is Larian Studios. If you're not familiar with that name, Larian Studios is the company that made Baldur's Gate 3, which is a phenomenally amazing game. And they did a very good job with it.
I haven't finished that yet, partially because I don't want to. It's so good.
Yeah, it's one of those games. Is like if I hit the end credits, that means it's over.
I don't want to say goodbye to Karlach.
That game has brought out the perfectionist in me, where I keep on remaking my character and starting over because I keep missing shit.
You're like, wait a minute, no. If I had done this and built it, no. So anyway, what's actually happening? There are rumors that Tencent is in talks with Hasbro to license what it sounds like to me, and it would make sense for how Hasbro acts, is it sounds like they're looking for an exclusive license for D&D games, which has happened in history before.
Yeah, it's business, and it's not buying the company.
And
it's also speculative right now.
It's all rumors right now,
yeah,
and it also
not jump the gun.
The things that we got from that was things like Neverwinter Nights was a product of exclusivity contracts, and one of the greatest D&D games that has ever come out. So depending on, like, for a while, EA held the exclusive licensing rights to Star Wars games, and they made some great games, and then they made some schlop that eventually lost them the exclusivity contract. And that's probably what's going to happen with Tencent. either they're going to let people like Larian make more D&D games, which they can't let Larian be the only company making it because Larian's not big enough. But if they leave it in the hands of people like Larian, we're going to get some amazing new D&D games, which is good because other than Baldur's Gate 3, most recent D&D games have sucked ass. So I would love to see people making good D&D games. But if you read
They
anywhere
tried once
that
upon a time. Do you still play D&D online?
I 100% play D&D online. Right now, D&D online is has a code where you can get most of the non-expansion adventures for free, where you normally have to pay like a couple bucks a piece. So it's like $60 worth of adventures for 100% free. And I love D&D online, and I have like 250 hours in it, and it's super, super fun. And it's an 18-year-old game. The game has been going and gets new expansions like every other year or every year. They get new expansions.
Is that Cryptic Studios?
Yeah, I think Cryptic owns it right now. I don't know. It's gone through a lot of different hands. The people that are owning it, that are running it right now, are the same people that run Lord of the Rings Online, and they actually use the same
System?
Engine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They use the same engine. And it has controller support. So it's one of the reasons why I play D&D online, is that I can play it with my controller.
Yay!
But yeah, like, we have had some amazing D&D games, and I'm excited to see what licensing can do. Because, like, anyone can read the things on my back shelf there, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Transformers, those are all IPs that Hasbro owns that they have licensed to Renegade Studios. And despite the fact that I think they put out too many books too quickly, they have done an amazing job with those licenses, and they've made some amazing systems.
I wouldn't say no to like a Ghostbusters or Ninja Turtles one.
That would be super cool. I'd love a Ninja Turtles system, though I'm not sure if SS20 would be the greatest fit for Ninja Turtles. But to be perfectly honest, I didn't think My Little Pony was a great fit for SS20, and the My Little Pony RPG is incredible. It's so cool. So
Incredibly cute.
yeah,
I
this
mean,
is
if you can do G.I. Joe, I think you can pull off a Ninja Turtle.
maybe, I don't know, Ninja Turtles. I would much rather see Ninja Turtles, because they had a Ninja Turtles RPG forever ago, and it
Palladium.
was much closer to like Mutants and Masterminds, and I think that would be more fun than the origin role and influence system that Essence 20 uses. But they have, in one of the G.I. Joe supplements, they added mutations and
No, I could see it like
modifications that could work
they could
pretty well
definitely
for
do
it
it
too.
like
I
kind
don't
of
know.
like the vein you did it with Power Rangers, be like, you know, the leader. I could say like leader, rebel, party dude.
They
you know.
they definitely could do something really cool with it. So I would be totally open to seeing that. But that's how Hasbro operates. There's very few things that Hasbro actually makes anymore. They license things off, and it makes them shit tons of money. And it's a very profitable business thing. So no, D&D is not being sold off. However, I actually kind of would love to see what would happen if something caused Wizards of the Coast to cut in half and have a Magic the Cap. It wouldn't be in half. It'd be like a big chunk and then D&D. But I would love to see D&D become its own company and Magic the Gathering being its own company. I think that could do some amazing things. But that would probably require some kind of like antitrust lawsuit or something to force them to do that. But yeah, I think D&D as a brand is strong enough that it could operate as its own company. But yeah, so cool stuff. Like I said, people are always kind of doom and gloom about this. This is good. If it turns out to be true, this is good news. I'd love to have an action RPG set in a D&D thing that's not the Dark Alliance monstrosity that was released a few years ago. That was just so incredibly bad that no one remembers it existed. And it never goes on sale, and I'm upset about that.
Did they announce that those D&D was pushed back? The core rulebook?
I don't think so. Officially, it has never been announced when in...
That's true.
When in 2024 it was going to be released. The leak that happened because somebody used their PowerPoint wrong that said it was releasing in May this year. was entirely that. It was a leak of something that they had already decided
It wasn't
against.
even. Yeah, it wasn't even
So-
that. It was like something else.
Officially, we have no idea when the first core book is going to come out. My theory is still going to be it's going to be sometime this summer, because that's when they launched the Player's Handbook for 5th edition, and it's a good time to launch it. It's in the middle of convention season. They could take advantage of Gen Con for all the press that you can get through it. Like, it would make sense to me if the core book launched sometime around August, because that's when Gen Con is, and there's also a bunch of, like, Dragon Con is almost the same weekend.
Yeah.
If it's not the same weekend, and there's a bunch of, like, PAX. The various PAXs are right around there, so there's so many different places where they could take advantage of marketing that it would not make sense for them to avoid unless they physically can't do it, which is very possible. I believe Wizards of the Coast put out a video today, I think, talking about the feedback that they got from the final playtest package, and I have not watched it yet, so it's possible if they got a lot of feedback off of that, it's possible they might push it to implement some of it. I was working under the assumption that any feedback that they got from that was never going to show up in the Player's Handbook, and it was going to show up in a future supplement or something, because there's just not enough time for them to implement anything, because the process of creating the physical books in a way that they can be printed and actually getting them printed in the hundreds of millions of copies that they have to print, or the tens of millions of copies that they have to print in order to have a first printing of all this stuff, takes longer than 6 months. Like, that's just, it's a really, really long, arduous process to get printing like that done and then get it to distributors and everything like that. So my assumption was this final bit of the final playtest was literally just them giving us a final kind of alpha look at what it was, and any feedback that they get will be used in later books. But who knows? We'll see. But
Oh, and as always, Matt Cova, let Dale Kingsmill name your system.
yes, we did. I want to say we got an update. No, I don't. I think it was an update from a few weeks ago, where it's basically just Matt Colville going, "Hey guys, just FYI, we're really happy with the Kickstarter, and now you're not going to hear from us for like 6 months because we're going to actually finish the game. But thanks for everything." And everybody, when they got it, was like, "Go for it, dude. We're excited." I do not know a single person. I guess there was a few people that were kind of upset that Matt Colwell was doing things, but everyone that actually read the previews and that, I have not seen a single person that wasn't like, "This looks cool." So I'm excited to see what it turns into. There's lots of cool stuff that's going on right now, and I'm, as much as some.
Who was that? I'm not gonna we're not gonna name them, but the premise of there's too many.
Yeah, there was a
Shut up.
D&D historian that has only been playing for 3 years that claimed that the golden
Only
age of
5th edition.
RPGs was over. And it's like, no, it's not. We have never had more choices in the RPG world, and beyond that, we've never had more good choices. Like,
We had plenty of
so
choices
many.
back in the day too,
Yeah,
but we've had
but they
better
were
choices now.
bunk. There's so many really cool stuff out there. And
I know people today that will still swear by GURPS.
and those people are wrong and probably need to be hugged. Who hurt you? And why didn't it stick? It's one of my
Listen
favorite
to
lines from
they just
Community.
released that on Penny Arcade. There's a story Matt Mercer shares about how they finally got their GM to give up GURPS by actually showing, like, no, we can break your game. Here's how we do it.
It is a nightmare system that some people love. I played in a GURPS game because a buddy of mine swears by it, and first of all, we had an argument because he is a historical weapons expert, self-proclaimed, and I said, "Yeah, I want to dual wield rapiers." He's like, "That's dual wielding is not a thing that happened and this is rooted in reality, and so dual wielding is I'm not going to allow it." I'm like,
There are books that show that shit.
yeah, dual wielding is happened all throughout history, and there's a specific style of fencing called the Florentine style of fencing that uses 2 rapiers.
That
In
is
fact,
so cool.
fencing in general, it was expected that you had something in your
Oh, yeah.
offhand. Rapier and dagger, rapier and
Usually, yeah,
buckler.
dagger.
One of my favorite versions that nobody puts in any games ever is rapier and cape. It literally, it was a fighting style.
Well,
What you would do
yeah.
is you would wrap, you'd
Yep.
either use a shoulder cape or you would sort of wrap your cape around your hand so that there was some of it trailing off, but your hand was basically this giant ball of cloth with a tail. And so what you would do is you would use the cape to trap their hand and tangle them up so that you could stab them while they couldn't attack you. It is a phenomenally brilliant, and you could parry with the cape, like you would spin the cape, and the cape itself had to have some weight to it. And so if you would spin the cape, if someone tried to thrust into it, the cape would wrap around their sword and redirect it. And it would leave your other hand free. Cape and rapier fencing is really, really cool, but it is remarkably, it took a lot of skill. Just as any other flexible weapon takes a significant amount of skill and training.
It was
to
kind
use
of the
it.
origin for the style of the half cape.
Yeah, like it's such a cool thing and nobody uses it. The cool stuff that happens.
Give me some ideas, though.
Yeah, I mean you're our fencer on the team. Like if we wanna come up with like a feat or something that makes you a cape fencer, I'm good with it. I don't know what we do, or maybe a magic item, but I'm good with it. I'm cool with Owie being this sparky cape fencer.
Oh, it could be a maneuver.
All right.
Maneuver. Yeah, that would be a fun battle master thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I like.
Grapple?
Yeah,
Some type of grapple.
she's already like a few steps below being a pretty cure.
Anyway, cool stuff happens in history. And if you ever want to blow your mind, read a history book written about your own country, written by someone from another country. Because the history books that you have read will be very different. I took AP US history and we used an English history book for it. And the Revolutionary War was a very different war. We also found out the French and Indian War was not an American war.
Yep.
It was a war. It was a proxy war.
Between every nation.
Yeah, well, it was France and I think it was France and England were fighting over in Europe, and they just had a proxy war over here where the French got friendly. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, so yeah, like a lot of the wars we had, the Civil War in and of itself was technically was partially caused by something that's happening in Europe at the time as well. It's fascinating stuff. The world is much more connected than anyone understands.
Watch Oversimplified.
It's actually not a show that I'm familiar with, but it sounds like it
It
was
is
named
very
well.
fun.
Anyway, anything else really cool happening right now? Like I said, I'm excited about stuff happening in the tabletop RPG world. I am doing stuff behind the scenes that I may sometime announce involving tabletop RPG stuff that I think is really cool. So, lots of cool stuff happening.
Dirty shit, I'm excited for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, saw the last trailer for Ghostbusters, whatever the
The
subtitle
international's
is.
way better. The international's way
I'll
better.
have to check out the international. Bill Murray's coming back, and oh, it looks good. It looks like classic that. Anyway, cool stuff happening right now.
I have gotten a group of children addicted to D&D.
Congratulations! Your first
Perfect.
corruption. I think that's what we need to. I think that's
Look
what we
at
need to
Mother
do. To like you know how you have like a murder of crows or like a blessing of unicorns. We now need to get just a corruption of D&D players.
Yes, I like that.
I think it works.
They're called murder hobos.
Yeah.
Those are
But-
just specific people within the.
If I remember correctly, because Chex and I have talked about this, you were able to find some resources and stuff specifically for like schools to start stuff.
That were more geared towards elementary school like age students learning how to play. There was just a whole bunch of little like cute storylines and ways to approach different things.
Yeah, Chex shared a few of them with me. They were adorable.
Yeah, they're pretty cute. It's like, what is it? Mighty but Fierce or
yeah,
something?
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah,
There's
super
lots
cool.
of cool stuff out there.
Yep.
I
But,
would encourage you, if you're interested, to introducing those kids. If you can get the resource in some way, shape, or form, check out Misplaced Monsters.
Okay.
They are D&D monsters, which is on Wizard by the Coast, that were created by kids.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and Redworm on Twitter has lots of cute DM advice.
Okay, I love it. Well, I'm actually the guild master.
Ooh.
So the club's name is the Adventurers Guild because I couldn't think of anything on
Aw.
the spot, and I had to think of it on the spot. And so there's actually a DM that I'm basically supporting, but I'm running the club, so I'm the guild master.
Very, very cool. So, you guys heard it here. Chax is corrupting our youth.
I am.
Nice.
And, I couldn't be happier for the next generation of role players. I think that's something that a lot of people, I think, kind of undervalue is the fact that we are going to have an entire generation of game designers within the next, I don't know, probably within the next 10 years here that grew up on 5th edition ideas and the rules light RPGs that have become popular now are going to influence an entire generation of tabletop RPGs. And we're already starting to see it because adults got into that stuff, but we're going to grow up with kids that have never played an RPG where your race in the class and your class limited you so much to where you could only play in a specific play style, or that classes didn't have kind of generic abilities that you could flavor. And I think that's going to massively change how the world works, which is really, really cool. And it makes me excited to see what happens when kids that grew up on a very permissive style of role-playing games starts making their own stuff and starts joining companies that make the stuff that I like too. Also, I found out that Terry Latorco, I think that's her name, something like that. She was a Geek and Sundry vlogger. She used to do the wargaming vlog. She works for Monty Cook. In a pretty high position, which is amazingly cool, and she's an awesome person. So yeah, I was super excited to hear about that because Monty Cook does the Cypher system, and they recently had a Kickstarter. I think last year had a Kickstarter for some new Cypher system products, and every so often we hear about Terry, and it's super cool because she's awesome, and she's a tiny little Canadian woman. It was fun to watch her talk about battle minis and wargaming and stuff like that because she was really, really excited about it, and she was just this tiny little bundle of wargaming energy. Almost got a chance to meet her because she came to Wisconsin once, and we just weren't able to meet up. But yeah, she kind of reminds me of like a wargaming Kiri, who is also a Geek and Sundry vlogger, and she's super cool. And her wife needs to stop looking so awesome all the time because it's making us mere mortals feel inadequate. Anyway, so yeah, lots of cool stuff going on in the world. Oh, the final thing before we actually play this damn game.
We're playing tonight. Cool.
Nah, we're just going to talk.
Yeah, that would be great.
Officially today, I released my 31st daily vlog. I have been a daily vlogger for an entire long month. Like, January is one of the longest months, and I daily vlogged the entire time. So
Nice.
I think I officially get to call myself a daily vlogger now, and that means that I'm YouTube royalty, and all of you must worship me.
All hail.
It's how it works, guys. So I'll have my gold play button tomorrow, despite the fact that I don't even have enough views or subscribers to make the easy version of partner that they just added. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Anyway, let's play some D&D. How does that sound?
Yeah.
So I think it is time for us to return to Traversing the Veil. Everything is fucked up. So normally I do a really cool recap of everything, but due to the fact that we weren't able to play for our last scheduled session due to IRL stuff, and my brain is completely fried. So the recap today is going to be a group recap because I can't actually remember everything. So
Yeah, neither can I.
what has
Is a studious note taker.
Thank
what has
God.
most recently happened? You guys went to Vox's Landing, which has been taken over by beholders, and after
Yep.
leaving there, I believe you guys were meeting with
Declan.
Declan. There we go. Which is Aui's friend and colleague from school.
Yep.
You said something about Soul Watch, which got him all Mancurian Candida-fied. And then you guys realized that something real bad is happening at Soul Watch. And the only person that might be able to tell you what's happening at Soul Watch is in the prison city of Airhold. And I believe you guys were just starting to kind of talk about how you would want to get into Airhold to fix him.
We have the general premise for like it's a bad idea. Let's do this.
Okay. Any other
That's
bits?
the general premise of our party,
I
though.
mean, yeah, it's the general premise of D&D.
To be fair, whenever we think we have a beat on something, that's when Jody goes, "Yeah, no, here's
Nah.
this." No.
By the way,
I do my
The
best to
Monty
keep things
Python
interesting.
Godfinger comes down and goes,
See, the funny part is, like, again, because of how my brain works, I plan out all this stuff and I have, like, motivations and everything for all this stuff. And every so often, you guys will start kind of predicting how my brain works and start doing things that you think are going to kind of align with how my brain works. And then you guys will just see something innocuous that I had no intention of it being any part of the story. We'll fixate on it, and then everything goes to hell. So
Yeah. Which is how we ended
that's
up
how we
with
got
Thomas.
it's how you guys got a lot of things.
Thomas and Reese.
You collect random people. Wait till I introduce my Johan character to this campaign. You guys find a way to kidnap him.
It was very tempting, Jody. It was very tempting. He was a cute one.
He was very nice, and there was a very touching story between him and Aino, and I got teary-eyed, and Kiri got teary-eyed. Anyway, so anything else? You guys did rescue your turtle druid friend.
"Yeah, we need to know his name."
Yes, no, he is turtle druid friend. You guys
To
have
be
never
fair,
figured
we're
out
the-
his name.
One, we never asked him the name. We're also the same assholes who never learned the Three Kenku's name.
So, yeah, he was nearly dead when you guys found him,
Yeah.
and so he has been nursed back to health. And he actually was one of the people that helped kind of
Yeah.
break Declan out of his mind
Because
meld.
apparently that also gave Declan super strength.
But you guys have not talked to him at all about what he knows about what's happening at Vox's Landing. So there's still
Never
that.
had a chance.
Yeah.
We were having a meeting, and all of a sudden, someone went boxcar dolphin red, and then all of a sudden, Declan decided he wanted to go for a swim in the Vale.
Gruvolia.
All of a sudden, Declan had like one silver arm and just decided, fuck this noise, and just started walking for the edge.
So,
Oh, for the reason why he walked towards the edge.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything. I really love the fact that we have Imp, incredibly creative person in general, with his just not our fault, and then Chex, who is also incredibly artistic, has an entire tableau.
Yeah.
It's like somebody came to the fight with a pool noodle, and the other person came with a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that gets us back to where we were, right?
Is it okay if I try something before we like on our way there?
Absolutely. As of right now, you guys have not decided. You've not made the decision to start going anywhere yet. You are still.
We were literally having a meal, and then Declan went for a walk. That's literally what happened.
Yeah.
We were having a meeting.
Except Puss in Boots decided to come and take over.
You do
Right.
not get to adopt him. He is Declan's
Aw.
friend.
I know, I tried.
If
Or
I
at the
got
very
those
least, I tried
crutches
to sleep with
ears.
them.
we were able to help him. We figured out where we have to go. Reggie had a freak out.
Yeah.
Sebastian is a very good kitty.
Of course, I'm a good kitty. I am the bestest of kitties because of my accent. Spanish accent, remarkably difficult to speak in.
Oh, by the way, is there any particular breed you based him off of?
No, brown.
Darn it.
I thought about making him an orange tabby, but he's too smart.
I will translate that as like brown Bengal.
Sure. I'm good with that. I thought about
they
like
have,
the cats that I've had have been, I can't remember the ones with the M's on their head. I can't remember.
that's pretty much Tabby.
Yeah, so we've had tabby cats and then tortoise shells.
See, I was gonna say Majin Buu.
Majin Buu. Absolutely, that's what they are. No, we had tortoiseshell and tortoiseshell cats are so great. Like I loved we had a tortoiseshell for 19 years, named Melody, and she was lovely. And tortoiseshells are just very, very nice, kind of cuddly cats.
When
and-
their tortitude doesn't rear its head.
Yeah, they always have that little bit of attitude, but I don't know. It's just like it was always the tabby that was kind of the rambunctious kind of trouble causer, and our tortoiseshell Melody was just always just kind of above everything. Like, she was just like, you peasants.
So a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cats are great. Anyway, so what would you all like to do? At this particular point, dinner's over. Declan has kind of returned to his ship to rest after the entire ordeal. Your nameless turtle druid friend is still on your ship. And you guys, at this point, let's say that you guys have returned to your ship.
Okay.
So, what would y'all like to do?
Well, first I think we're gonna get our turtle boys set up because like he probably needs to go back to rest.
Yeah.
So, with his very large, kind of crooked, like shepherd's crook looking staff, you gotta, oh, thank you. And he kind of goes back to...
That's great. What the frig is your name?
Leonardo.
No.
Okay, but okay, you want to lock that in? That's fine.
Yeah.
Named.
And
I wait until we look into a past episode and you actually named him.
possibly did. Again, my brain is so
Poor
Swiss
Thomas.
cheese.
All right, he wears blue. He's a bit of an asshole. All right.
He also has 3 brothers and then a sister named Venus. Which that's a deep cut for 90s
Yeah.
kids.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
To the god-awful TV
Live
show.
action turtles.
Well, the movies, except for the 3rd one, were good.
Yeah, and
Well,
then there's this one.
I'm not asking for a tirade, but if I remember correctly, there actually was a Ninja Turtle Power Ranger.
Yes, there
crossover.
was. Yes,
There was a Ninja Turtle crossover in Power Rangers in Space, which was dumb. And then a few years ago, Boom Comics did a Ninja Turtles crossover comic that is freaking amazing.
Oh yeah, IDW. They did Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they were. Oh man, all the turtles got because the Rangers had something happen where they couldn't use their powers anymore. So the Rangers all gave their coins to turtles, and so there's like a Blue Ranger, Leonardo, and a green or a Red Ranger, Raphael. Shredder got the Green Ranger power coin, and Shredder armor in like the Green Ranger colors just looks badass. I don't even know what Shredder did with the coin. I don't care. It is the coolest character design that has ever existed. And then
that's our time.
And that's it. And then all the Rangers got to develop ninja powers, because why not? And they got cool ninja outfits. Anyway, so Leonardo heads down to kind of sleep off his near death, because that's what you do. You eat some peanut butter and walk it off.
Oh yeah.
Somebody kills you, walk it off.
Yeah, and then like retreat into your shell and just sleep the next like several hours.
So, what would the rest of you like to do?
You like after that, it was like there was some discussion. Reggie, you may need to send Arthur another message.
Hold on. Do I even have any spell slots left to do that?
Well, we actually last time it was a new day when this was going on.
Oh, nice. Okay, then.
So you had a long rest before the nonsense started.
Yeah.
So unless you went through all of your spells, which as a full caster would be impressive.
Because before that, on the way we were going, because there was also the message we sent to Smegwick's family.
Okay,
and then you sent the message to Arthur.
Okay, so yeah, I'm all good to go. So what exactly am I telling him?
Be very careful who you talk to about Soul Watch. Possibilities may cause spontaneous sleeper agents to do harm to themselves and or others.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast Sending, directing it to Arthur. Whatever you do, don't mention Sleepwatch. May trigger sleeper agents. Stand by.
And as the message goes through, takes a little bit longer than you think it should to get a response.
Could be in the middle of something.
And the response itself is 2 words. You're wanted.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, so no change to our situation.
Do you seriously not tell us?
Oh.
I was like,
everything's good, guys.
I was just waiting
for a completely unrelated reason. I think maybe we avoid any military patrols. For no reason. I think they smell bad is all it is.
All right, so Arthur got back to me.
I'm sorry, I love that. I really thought you weren't going to tell us.
So nothing's changed.
Because you said nothing changed. You just left him like.
My brain is also Swiss cheese right now. All right, so Arthur got back to me. Took him a little bit longer. Was very brief with his response. Once again, reiterating that by some divine prank, all of us on this boat here are wanted.
Why is it a divine prank?
Because, of course, our luck is always this bad.
I don't think it was our luck that made us release a Beholder Dragon to the world.
Somehow, Palpatine returned.
Smegwick finally snaps. Hold the fuck up! Enough! What did we do that released the Beholder? I want you to tell me this.
We went into the room, disturbed. The Beholder Dragon stood up, caused the building to fall.
You guys told me about that. There was an explosion from up top. We didn't do that.
Okay.
No, not okay. You keep insisting we did it.
Mostly because you have a funny reaction to it.
Really? That's what you did?
Is that your takeaway from this whole thing?
Prestidigitation Axe body spray.
Mm,
Just kind of spreads in the air. Ah! 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 Ah!
You suddenly feel yourself longing for hair gel.
No, I refuse to be a tool. Okay. So,
Well, we've already established they're fucking with people's heads, so it's be really easy for someone. We now know that someone has it in for us in the Marines.
either people are willingly coming after us, they've brainwashed people into sleeper agents to coming after us,
That's been confirmed.
or people are too busy drinking the fantasy Kool-Aid and they just believe everything, and now they're also coming after us.
Well, it's not even necessarily after us. It's like they've clearly established themselves as they have key people that have been subjected to whatever chicanery. It's probably goggles. Wouldn't put it past that asshole.
what about that incident on the riverboat?
Riverboat.
The big shop boat with the.
Oh, the giant shopping mall boat?
Oh, the bazaar. Yeah, that guy was after us too, but I don't know if that was him specifically or just being an asshole. The guy was only known as the Admiral. That was the guy that Thomas worked for before.
Yep.
You dunked him in the veil.
He dunked himself. I threw my back out pulling him out.
This is pre-Arai.
Yep.
It's actually where
That's the popcorn.
they met Crexney. And
Yeah,
she
it was.
is sitting there just kind of petting Ogun, being very quiet.
No.
And
Yeah, by the way,
mumbling
yeah.
about taxes.
Grexy, I'm sure we'll have to talk about this later again, but you're definitely gonna have to work on getting the nameplates changed.
Oh God.
Pretty sure she got something set up for that already.
We never got the chance. We just kept getting the materials, and then something else happened.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure she was working on it. She just hasn't put it on yet.
There was some rolls made during one of the sessions where she had.
Oh yeah,
I think she'd done like half the work to have like kind of a kind of rotating nameplate that you guys could change at
Yeah.
will. But the work for that, the last time we had Crexy here, she had not finished the work on that because she was working on like 2 or 3 different projects at the same time.
Yeah, and now we have to find at least one day to dry dock so we can get the ships.
Yeah.
Which we have not set in front of Declan yet. But he may find out eventually if things go pear-shaped, which they will. We may also, as long as we're here, we're going to have to play this by ear about who finds out about what things on our ship. I.e.,
Other people.
well, no, they've actually been transferred off, I think. 'Cause we're going to work on that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then there's there's things our ship can do.
Oh yeah.
There's 2 things our ship can actually do really well that we're already fucked, but we don't maybe don't advertise.
I mean, they can't really do much with it anyway, even if they did steal it.
As you guys are speaking, you hear some footsteps from behind, and you see Thomas coming up with a tray with a cloche over it. Hello,
Where'd you get a coloche?
Declan, like, the amount of just nonsense stuff in his galley is just incredible.
No, he's got a fancy ship. Oh, by the way, he may be a guest with us for some chicanery. He's been through the ringer.
And that's new. How?
Worse.
Anyway,
Like,
I've
really
got
bad.
something I'd like you all to try. And so he kind of opens it up, and you can see these tiny. They look like roses, but they are crystalline.
For a hot second, I thought you were going to say something like Hail Hydra, and we were going to be fucked.
No, give it a try. A very
Crystalline, crystalline roses.
Yeah, you pop them in, they're crunchy.
I take one. I give it a look.
It is pure crystallized sugar. With
Didn't we just have a discussion about this?
with some other kind of flavors mixed into it to where it has a very kind of interesting kind of open flavor.
Yep, Arai kind of leans over Thomas, drapes over his shoulder, and grabs one and like puts it in his mouth, and still kind of hanging on Thomas.
And if you bite into it, it kind of crumbles in your mouth, and there is a kind of like molasses based liquid in the very center of it that just kind of oozes and coats your mouth in this kind of very almost savory sweet mixture of flavor. So what you guys think? Is it a good idea or is it a bad idea?
Definitely good.
It's interesting.
Reggie,
I'm not gonna discourage you from like trying new shit. I mean,
yeah, Reggie takes one, but he doesn't pop the whole thing in his mouth. You said it, Jody. You said it was designed to look like a rose,
Yep.
right? Okay, Reggie, instead of popping the whole thing in his mouth, he like takes off one of the petals and just eats that, just to kind of test it.
Yeah, it's sugar glass effectively.
yeah.
It's technically honey based, but
Like this.
and there's some other flavors that have been kind of mixed into the honey. Like you can taste like the faintest hit of like a bacon like flavor in there, and so there's some savory mixed in, and there's some sweet, and then like I said, in the center is some kind of molasses based sauce that has some savory undertones to it as well.
When did you make this?
Well, you guys were all over there doing God's know what, and I got bored, and Declan had been sharing
You did this
all
when
this.
you're bored.
So
Holy
like me
shit.
and like Declan's chef, like Declan's chef is like a proper chef, and I'm like not like that at all. And so he was just showing me like various stuff, and he said he has some honey, and I'm like, oh, I like honey. Honey's really good. You use it for lots of different stuff. It keeps for forever. So I'm like, hey, would you mind if I stole some of your honey? And he said, well, you wouldn't know what to do with it. And I showed him that I could.
Yeah, I met him briefly. His name's Michelin.
Looks like
Fuck you.
just looks like a bunch of tires. A lot of people don't realize Michelin star restaurants. Yeah, the people that make tires. That's where it comes from, because
Yeah.
it was all about whether or not it was
It's
worth
not pronounced-
driving
it's not-
to them.
It's not pronounced differently in Europe at all.
I told that little fun fact to my wife. She refused to believe me
Yeah.
until she Googled it herself.
It's a real thing. It was all about
Michelin or
because they used to put out a guide that was basically meant to encourage people to drive, so they would wear their tires down more, so they would need new tires. And so the guide was specifically about, is it worth it to drive to this restaurant? So fascinating stuff. Anyway, so you guys think this is something like, it's like not something I can make a ton of, because it uses quite a bit of honey, and that's why there's other stuff in there. Because I don't want to use all the honey, because if I do that, then we're not going to have any honey later. And honey's nice. Like sugar's okay, like, but it spoils, and if you get it wet, there's bad things that happen. But honey just like keeps forever, as long as you keep it dry, and like it's really good. So cool.
Yeah, it's great. This is what you do when you're bored. Awesome.
It's not like there was a lot of other things to do. Like, we just ran away from a giant beholder dragon. I mean, what am I supposed to do? It's not like I fight anymore. Like, I still have like a sword arm, but even when I was in the Marines, I wasn't very good at it. That's why they had me like on kitchen duty. Though I was more peeling potatoes and cooking them, but
I mean, well, maybe you should have been cooking, because these are
Yeah.
stunning.
yeah, you know, every so often you
Yeah.
just find that little niche that you just kind of fit in really well, and I think this is my niche.
Keep at it.
Or I eat another one.
Also, that other dude that you guys found is weird.
Oh, race.
Yeah, Like, nothing gets to him. Something wrong with that. Like, you should get bothered by things. That's how they work.
Or
And
maybe he's
nothing
seen so
gets
much.
to him.
Maybe he's seen so much shit it doesn't bother him anymore. The guy can punch the ground,
I mean, it's
and
just...
other things happen, breaking his own bones.
Yep.
I'm going to go back to the galley. You all have fun. And he wanders away.
Be sure to feed Reese. He's gonna scratch his head before he walks away.
You hear him just mumbling, I will never understand that man.
Also, I'm pretty sure I'm like, Thomas is pretty much galley chef now. I'm pretty sure if he's not making sure someone's getting fed, Reese can also fend for himself. I mean,
Right. Right, I was thinking you guys don't take very good care of your pets.
Come on.
Still gotta check in on them, make sure they have the supplies they need.
you make sure their upturned bottle of water is all filled up so they can.
Yeah, they can
metal
get the
straw.
water. Obviously, they can get the water on their own. You don't have to like feed them the cup, but you have to make sure they have the water. Owners.
I mean, he's not a hamster.
At this point, they're on their own. I've tried. They don't. They're gonna have to stand up for themselves. It's not up to us to set their boundaries.
So, anything else you guys want to do? Do you want to, because at the moment it seems like Declan is probably going to be indisposed for a few days.
Gonna have to go somewhere so we can set up dock. So
Yeah,
it
and right now the original plan that you guys had, I believe you guys were all heading to Exelos to drop off the refugees that you have.
we were also kind of
refuel.
warned about some shit was going down at Canalome, so I think we have to go to Exelos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the next few days, life on the ship is relatively kind of boring. Every so often, the two ships in your fleet will dock with each other to kind of transfer people over to keep kind of the monotony out of it and to kind of utilize different people's skills. So every so often, you guys will have new people on board that are dealing with different things. But after about 3 days, Declan has gotten to the point where he's feeling good enough that he can come over and talk to you guys about the next plan, and you guys are less than a day away from Exelos.
I was going to suggest. I also do put this out now that he feels more up to speed. Is there any way you can suss out to see if maybe anyone else has a reaction like you had?
Well, to be perfectly honest, the only thing I'm aware of is once you become triggered, I guess would be the correct term. It happens. Like, I had no idea that I had anything wrong with me until I tried to jump off of a ship into the Vale. I mean, I have no way to detect other people. I mean, you could interview every person that you meet and ask if they've ever been to Soulwatch, but there's just as likely a possibility that someone could have been affected like I was somewhere else. I'm not even sure the method that they used to cause me to have such a visceral reaction.
Out of curiosity, and like, I'd make sure no one else is around to see it, but like, he does look around. I'm gonna add, because I think you've already been through the worst of it. That's the only reason why I would think to do this. Does anything elicit from you on some level when you see this face? And he's gonna press minor illusion goggles. Nothing.
Seems like a rather stoic gentleman, but I have no memory of ever interacting with someone like this. To be perfectly honest, over the past few days, most of the memories I have of Soulwatch have left me. I have very little memory, and I'm starting to theorize that perhaps all of my memories of Soul Watch were not actual memories.
Been there, done that. Bought the shirt, burned it.
So, yes, the last thing I can remember before everything just sort of cuts to black is landing on the dock and remarking that it felt cold, colder than I thought that it should, and then nothing.
She had a play in that.
Well,
Oh yeah. Really quickly, if you see these people, it's probably already too late and you're dead. He goes through the Soul Watch crew real quick.
you know,
She sucks. These two fucking assholes suck. This one, she might be okay, but she's actually the most dangerous of them all.
I'm just going to put forward an observation. You can decide to agree with it or discard it as much as you prefer. However, I think you need to massively reevaluate your conditions for forming relationships with people. Because it seems that most of the people you know are not very good people.
These four are associated with a place that fucked us both over.
Well, that being said, we are less than a day from Exelos. We can start seeing it on the horizon.
Oh yeah, by the way, we're wanted.
Oh, well, sounds lovely.
Smegwick looks to Reggie, goes like, considering what we're about to get involved in, this is necessary.
Well, that changes things.
Yeah.
Do you know by whom you are wanted?
Marines.
Lovely.
I think the more appropriate question would be who doesn't want us right now.
Yeah. You should also know we're kind of on the shit list for both Anonymous and Anonymity.
Yeah, Anonymous, completely different group that are wonderful and amazing, and we would never think to say anything bad about.
You named him, pal.
So wait, there's Anonymity, and what's the other one? One's thievery and one's killing.
Anonymity is the Assassin's Guild.
Yeah. Anonymity. Oh God, I blanked out on that. Anonymity and
like on the tip of my tongue.
Chicanery. I don't know.
Yes, it's chicanery. That's what it is.
I have to go all the way back.
No, it's not.
Abracadabra.
I have it written down. I just have to go to the right place. This is what happens when your brain is fractured, folks.
Yep.
Oh, I got way too many notes.
Okay, so let's go here. There's the core.
See who can get it first.
Images. Fading Isles. That'd be
Oh God damn it! I know where. I'm trying to do it first.
Misdirection.
God damn it!
It was a good name. I was proud of the name. Couldn't remember it, but yeah, Anonymity and Misdirection. So as you say about those names, well, in the core, they tend to not operate too much out in the open, so there is that. However, if you are wanted by the Sovereignty Marines, that could create some issues. Really, landing anywhere or docking anywhere in the core would probably end up with you in
chains.
Yes. There's also the minor issue of the fact that my mercenary company does have a contract with the Marines to aid when we are requested. So theoretically, my ship might be hired to hunt you.
Well, also might be a good cover.
Yeah, possibly. But then there's also the issue of if I am hired to do a job for the Sovereignty and actively refuse to do it, I can be executed along with the entirety of my crew. So perhaps avoiding taking jobs that would result in high treason charges.
Yeah.
Well then.
This makes things significantly more difficult. We have plenty of supplies to get to Exelos. We do not have the supplies to get to Airhold. And you cannot dock.
Well, we might be able to. It just needs to be under a different name.
Well, how does this sound? My particular crew, we are not gifted, let's say, in deception and subterfuge. It was, surprisingly enough, when I was assembling my crew, it was not skills that I thought would be necessary for us. If any on your crew has a penchant for deception or
Points to Reggie.
direction, anything that could make them seem like
Yeah.
another person, perhaps we can take you with us when we dock, and you can do some investigation of your own, see if there are some less than savory types in the city that would be able to overlook a wanted status.
With a giant swipe drop, I look towards Reggie.
Yeah, that one guy looked like he enjoyed chicken too much. Or do you got a different one?
Well, Reginald, you seem to have been volunteered by your friends.
Hey, if you want to use your skills to make us look different too, I mean, I'm not going to say no to that either, but it's pretty much going to be... You also knew who to ask on the down low. You had a conversation we didn't even know about until you told us.
Look, again, one of the reasons why I'm really hesitant about going to this place is there might be people locked up in there that I indirectly kinda sorta put in there. So showing my face there, even if I can disguise myself, these people know things.
Okay.
Let's see. Now that being the case, though, actually, Jody, you can answer me. You can answer this for me because this is something that I've actually never done in a D&D game before, at least not to my memory, because we've been playing this campaign for how long now? Like
Few years.
few years. I do have a disguise kit, but can I use that on other people, or can I only use it on myself? I'm sorry if that's a dumb question.
So the disguise kit in and of itself is... I mean, the modern equivalent is basically a makeup kit with prosthetics. You're being trained in using the disguise kit. It's just as easy to make up yourself as it is to make up another person. In fact, technically, it tends to be slightly easier to make up someone else than it is to make up yourself. And I speak entirely from theater experience. So if you actually look at the description of a disguise kit, there you have minor prosthetics in there, things like false noses and stuff like that, because changing your nose, it's remarkable how much that changes what your face looks like. So yes,
You have a case that says Professor Balls on it.
yeah. If you wanted to use it on someone else, you could. I would say to make complete transformations of people, a single disguise kit would not have enough materials for you to make over basically the entire party.
No,
it's
but
mostly kind of designed for a single person or maybe a couple of people to use simultaneously. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and even
right.
with my alter self, it would only be for an hour.
I don't think we need to, because I'm going off of something you just said, Jody, where sometimes just one good prosthetic can like still make you look completely different. So we don't have to go with complete disguises, but we just got to change ourselves just enough that we kind of are no longer recognizable. So,
I mean, you could probably do something with a Rai. Since you two are like closest to like, your humanoid-esque features.
Reggie just kind of looks to Arai for a moment. He does the whole like,
No, I'm taller than you.
Yeah,
By,
so
like,
it's more like
6 inches.
boom.
Smegwick's flicking his ears. He's like, yeah, man, he's extremely pointed teeth.
Yeah.
At this point, because his
Changing
dragon hair is showing.
a human to look like another human is not an incredibly difficult thing to do. Changing a goblin to look like anything other than a goblin is remarkably difficult.
Like, it makes us look like different goblins, but, you know.
And goblins in general are extremely rare in the sovereignty.
Yeah.
So, like, Dragonborn, much more common, so making Aoi look like a different Dragonborn. Probably the most difficult thing would be having enough makeup to change her scales.
Yeah. And again, I do have Alter Self, so I could use that twice.
Well, we
I
don't
also
really.
have a disguise kit.
Yeah.
That does help. And again, no one else. We don't really have to disguise
3
ourselves.
times.
What?
3 times. I could do it for 3 hours.
Oh, nice.
I keep that in your back pocket, but sometimes considering a lot of the people know about magical counter effects, maybe going basic might be a better option.
True.
All right. Okay, so good for one thing. We just need to disguise ourselves well enough with it where we're just stopping recognizable. Number 2, we probably most likely don't have to do full body, just all of our body portions that are not covered by clothes. So there's that right there. Let's see. Aoi, I think for you, and now he's kind of getting into like a makeup designer for fashion models. Like, let me see.
So I was envisioning we're gonna cut to like the YouTube influencer like makeup tutorials.
I'm just envisioning I think it's Rush Hour or Rush Hour 2, where they come in and Jeremy Piven's in there. He's like, okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to, we're going to put a dead animal on you because you're fierce. You're fierce.
All of a sudden, like, Reggie turns close and he just has a black turtleneck and tiny glasses. Like, turns into Stanley Tucci. All right, so for you, Aoi, I think from the neck up, we are going to just we're going to turn your scales from blue. We're going to make them a nice bright shade of green. Not that much of a difference from blue, so it's not going to take that much. Let's see now, Smegwick. We're going to give you a bigger nose. We're going to keep the ears. The ears are fine because you're still going to be a goblin. And I actually, now this is Evan asking this because I actually don't know goblin anatomy very well. Do goblins get facial hair?
Yeah,
they can. Yeah,
we can. Okay. I think Smegwick. I think you're clean shaven, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but they can have beards and.
He has way too much product in his hair, though. He's like one of those guys who has that so much product in his hair it looks simultaneously wet and hard at the same time.
King.
He can just kind of go take off the entire thing,
like a Lego. All right. So ears we're gonna keep. We're gonna give you a slightly bigger nose. I'm just gonna slap a beard on you. We're gonna basically have the entire bottom half of your face, your hair now, and he like feels the hair from where it's like hard as rock.
Slap. Don't mess with the dew.
All right, Ventura.
That shit takes time.
Ventura, what are you talking about?
All right, you know what? We're going to keep the hairstyle as is, but I am going to change the color of it, at the very least. You have to accept that, at least.
What color?
Of your hair.
Yeah, what color are you changing it to?
We will figure that out in a moment.
I'm thinking neon green.
We're gonna make you go full cyberpunk.
Okay, look, I happen to know I had a phase in school. I tried the frosted tips once. It wasn't a good look.
And you made a smart choice moving away from that.
Give him a goatee, frosted tips, and just have him talk about going to Flavortown all the time, and you guys are set.
All right, now,
Just keep practice with me. That's money.
Alright, unbraids his hair and like kind of lets it go down the side. And says, I can also change seasons too.
Oh,
I can go like something more spring. I really haven't done spring for you guys yet because I'm charming enough as it is. But it is something that tends to get. Thank you. It is something that tends to get a lot of good responses.
Or we
Hmm.
make
So
it
that's
so
an
no
option
one,
as well.
or we make it so no one recognizes you by like you wear more clothes.
I'm fully robed.
I think
You put a shirt on, people might not recognize you.
Arai is wearing like formal wear.
Are you?
Because really wear well
Yeah.
unnecessarily.
All right. I'm gonna
Haven't
get
seen
back
my
to you.
character art?
All right. I have a good idea for you. We're gonna come back to that. If you guys give me just a moment, I'm gonna get things set up. Only gonna take a few minutes, and then I'm gonna right back to you. And Jody, this is my sign out. We'll be right back. I need to use the bathroom.
Go for it.
Mm.
I was like, wait, Reggie, do you have a dress?
Yeah, too late. I'm already rocking away.
He's looking at patterns.
Declan kind of chimes in. If you're looking for something more formal, I do have. The last time my sister decided to join us, she brought, as is often the case, entirely too much, and left a few garments in the wardrobe. She well, you have a similar build, somewhat. She's a more delicate dragonborn than most, which coincides
Very
roughly with the male human physique. So if you'd like to look through some of her things, I think we have maybe half a dozen dresses. They might need to be altered slightly, but I'm sure she wouldn't mind donating to the cause, as it were.
Sure.
Wonderful.
If that
Well,
goes along with what Reggie was thinking.
well, we'll go dress montaging for a moment, yeah. And so he takes
Oh.
Huzzah.
you back.
Oh, frig. Oh no, Declan. I'm running low on material. I have materials. If you don't, like, do you happen to have materials for incense and charcoal and the really good stuff for like summoning?
We have a cleric on board that tends to keep some of those. Uses them quite a bit for various rituals and healing spells.
I might need to see if he can loan me some. I have some, but I was just like, I'm going through it a lot, and we're gonna need to restock if we can. But
Okay, he's
Spitty, buddy, we need to have a talk.
Spitwitch just gives you one of these looks that doesn't even need to use this kind of emotional communication. You can just see it in his face of, damn it.
Gonna have that talk.
As Declan is kind of taking Arai away, his name is Nathaniel, and he's generally on deck 4. He has his quarters there, and there's a small shrine next to it that he has quite a few times attempted to conduct sermons from, and no one has ever shown up. So be careful about bringing up certain topics of conversation, because either he will become very irate that no one listens to him, or he will give you a 4-hour-long lecture on the gentle gardener and why the worship of said god is completely wrong and people do not understand all of his focuses. I have listened to that exact argument 4 times, and it was 5 times too many. Alright, if you care to join me. And he starts walking off onto his ship.
I'll be back.
Yeah, after they walk away, Ari suddenly gets the joke and starts giggling.
So, Arai, when you get there and he starts showing you the dresses themselves are actually kind of on par with how you normally dress, which compared to like your average person is very formal. But these could be like, you were halfway expecting like full like ball gown kind of stuff, and these seem to be a little bit more appropriate for everyday wear. One thing you do notice is as you start trying on a few of them, one of the issues that is going to have to be dealt with is the fact that Declan's sister is relatively endowed. And so the chest areas of all of these kind of sag with nothing to keep them up.
Yep.
We've got time though, right?
Yeah, alterations and stuff like that. You'll need to find someone that's got some skill with a needle and thread.
Give me a long rest.
I
Give me a trance.
I think I know what Reggie's gonna do to him.
So
To me? What is a rest?
So yeah, that's the only kind of real downside to this is that for the most part they seem to fit even with your kind of very very slender Eladrin form. Because even like male Eladrin are still remarkably kind of slender and thin. There's going to be like every single one of the dresses is going to have the waist to take it in, or you're going to look like you're wearing a burlap sack.
Yeah.
And then something is going to have to be done, either adding more material or cinching something somewhere, putting darts in or something. But other than that, the length fits remarkably well. It seems that you guys are roughly about the same. Excuse me.
Bless you. Bless
Excuse
you.
me. It seems you guys are roughly about the same height. It seems that she might be probably about 2 or 3 inches taller than you. But kind of shifting your bearing is enough to kind of deal with that. And remarkably enough, like arms and everything, because most of the dresses are long sleeved. They actually fit remarkably well, which is something that you weren't quite expecting, because Dragonborn arms in general tend to be a little bit beefier.
Yeah.
So she's apparently a very delicate Dragonborn woman.
So kind of like Golly.
Kind of.
Bigger.
Just taller. Like she
Yeah.
probably has easily like 1.5 to 2 feet on you.
Allie is 4 foot small.
So, yeah, is there a particular you find 2 of them are again very formal looking, but kind of effectively just your standard kind of long sundress kind of thing. One of them is closer to like an evening dress where it's got like a side slit that goes up to about mid thigh. And then the final the 2 are the final 2 long sleeved ones are not quite ball gown, but very much kind of, for lack of a better term, party dresses. You know, they're definitely a little bit along the more formal side. And then the final one that's actually short sleeved is as close to a ball gown as you can get without having like 17 layers and, you know, frill and fluff and all that stuff. So it's very, very formal, and has a very plunging neckline.
Arai's going to take one of the like more everyday one and the one with the very high slit, and let Declan know that he's going to bring them over for
Okay.
Reggie to get some ideas.
All right. So, Reggie, Arai went over to Declan's ship to look through some dresses that Declan's sister had left.
Ooh.
And so Arai has come back with 2 dresses. One that looks kind of like a long sundress, a relatively formal looking long sundress, but for the most part, dress, it hangs down. There's not a whole lot of floof or fluff to it. And then the other one looks much more like an evening gown. Has a slit going up one of the sides up to about mid-thigh. Very kind of slinky and smooth, very form-fitting. So she's brought both of them.
Arai's going to hold up the slinky one to his body and be like, I don't know if I still have to wear my boots, and I think it kind of like detracts from the line. But I didn't know like how in depth we were going, so options, or we can Arai's can like gently put them down on a nearby chair, or we can just do something else.
I mean, you've been amazing.
Oh, thank you, Aoi. And he's gonna go and lean down and like give her a little snuggle.
Aww.
I wake up Reggie. Think she, I think they both realize the plan for disguising him.
Anything.
Yeah, Reggie walks in and sees Arai. Oh, I like it. Oh, this is definitely gonna work.
The one thing that I mentioned when you were gone, the waist is too large because Dragonborn versus Eladrin, and also based entirely on the dresses themselves, it seems that Declan's sister is relatively well endowed, and so the chest area is just nothing is kind of holding these dresses up in that particular area.
All right. Oh, that's not a problem. I have prosthetics for that too. Just give me a moment.
Apparently, we're
I
also
was
going to lead
thinking-
into the argument about whether or
I
not.
can like dart it and like we can strap it up or change the design a little bit so that you can actually just take the excess material and you can kind of do like this little cross with it in front.
Oh.
My mom used to do that all the time.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I remember my nanny would sometimes do weird little like cloth craftsmanship like that. Very similar. Yeah, I think that will definitely work.
I'm just
Your
really
nanny,
proud of
the
the
cool
fact that
assassin.
I remember that the little things in like shirts and dresses and stuff like that is called a dart. Like I learned that I learned it in costuming. I took a costuming and makeup class when I was in college, and I learned how to make dress forms and all that fun stuff. And found out that
Nice.
making women's clothing is significantly more difficult than making men's.
Yeah.
So you learned fashion sense from your assassin nanny.
Surprisingly good at design.
Reggie just looks at Smegwick and says nothing, but for a split second, it is just a face of complete seriousness of don't.
That's
And
cool.
then he
I'll
just
give you
turns
shit.
and then he just turns back to Arai.
It's the first cool thing I think about you.
Wasn't my nanny, it was my mother. All right. So, I think I can definitely work with this. Dress, not going to take any time at all. Owie, just going to turn you from blue to green. Mostly just going to focus on, like, neck up, all of the face, hands as well. Smegwick, going to give you a bit of a prosthetic to enlarge your nose, give you a big beard. Ish should do just fine. And gonna change the color of your hair from... What color is your hair? Is Smegwick's hair, like, normally?
It's kind of like a green black.
Kind of like a green-black? Okay. I am gonna
That's what I
turn... I'm gonna turn it from this weird seaweed black color to a dirty blonde.
Yes, going from black to blonde, super easy.
No, dirty blonde. So, like, still kind of brownish. Oh, hello, Oliver. How'd you get in my room right now?
Go purple.
Yeah.
Pupper, kitty,
Kitty.
kitty. This
And he's
is the internet. You are required by law to show the kitty.
Okay, Oliver, come back.
Aw, cat.
Not anymore.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, okay, he's trying to get off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
done.
come on. Okay,
Cat
get
did not want to be picked up.
It's okay.
No, because you want to pick me up. No, you can't. No.
I will only be picked up when I want to be picked up.
Cats
He
are
ha-
eternally sinless.
So
he has no brain cells, but is nothing but charisma.
Aw.
So besides, sorry, hold on. Our besides
Kitty really
our
affected you, huh?
outfit, yeah. No, it was that comment. Let's see. So we do have a little bit of noticeable equipment. Like my pike is kind of beautiful. Always rapier is kind of noticeable.
The weapons in general wouldn't be that. It's not unheard of.
Well, now hold on. Let's think about this. Like, if we're gonna be going to this place, how are we portraying ourselves? Like, one noble and a bunch of gods, and like what are our characters?
We don't even.
Right.
Well, we.
Picking
That's
up
kind of
the
like.
slit dress.
That's kind of like Declan. We don't even know what our premise is really. We just need this. This is us getting to Exelos. It's kind of like one problem at a time. Because first we got to work on the ship, so we're going to be docking in Exelos. So we kind of need to.
But we need to make it cohesive
We could-
too. So if
we
we're
could-
working on the ship, we have to be working on the ship under whatever we're going to be looking like as we exit.
Yeah, we can just be a group of assholes like we normally are. Just going to be different assholes.
Just as a kind of reminder to everyone, all the cities in the core have kind of a name associated with them, like a nickname. Exlos is known as the Moving Metropolis because the particular style of art that is most popular in Exelos is dance and movement in general. So dance, martial arts, other things like that are extremely popular in Exelos.
Back up the slit dress.
All right.
I cannot dance.
I am not.
Smegwick
surprised.
Smegwick does like a normal stance, and then he just does a sidestep on both sides to like widens it. That's about as much as my hips give me.
Ah.
Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time.
Meh.
Options. We have time.
And we do have time.
We really just need to pretend to be different assholes. That's really all we need to do. While we're setting up Doc and Exelos. And just keep in mind, as soon as we're going to be burning all of this. This is like
Pretty
just
different assholes.
because we're adventurers. We go where the work is. So it's not unheard of. There's a lot of wild shit happening right now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We're looking for work. That's really it.
I'm not denying that part. I'm saying we could be pretty.
Yeah.
Well,
This is probably all going to go
that's
away once we use the. I don't know how. This is. Like, look, this is not my bailiwick, but once you use a identity, it's kind of like it's one and done.
I just get this kind of vision of arising. There's like, we could be pretty, and then kind of glancing over, which would be easier for some than others.
Which we should, but to your point, we should be thinking about names or something.
Yeah, I have to think about that.
What do you do this D&D session? Guys, we talked about clothes.
Talk
As
about
I-
clothes, exactly how to use darts to modify a dress for someone with a larger bosom, and how high up a slit in the dress can be before it stops being a slit and just starts being a slut. So,
That also is the point. Kind of looking like I'm sure we're gonna have this discussion later. Then there's Crexney.
Crexy,
Yeah.
Crexy built a tuxedo out of metal at one point.
Oh my
Does-
god.
Can Crexney do a full body dye? I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's no way she'll be able to hide those ears and tail.
Well, but I mean, she's two-tone, so if we... change the tone colors...
As I'm saying, we're gonna have to, figure something out for her too, and what she wants to go along with.
Yeah, Harengon in general are much more common in the
Farewell.
Okay, well, yeah.
Feywild, which is called the
Tempest Sovereignty. Oh, no, it's not Tempest Sovereignty. The
Verdant
Verdant Empire.
Verdant Empire.
Verdant Empire.
Which you guys are currently at war at. So again, both Smedwick and technically Eladrin are remarkably rare too. But as horrible as this sounds, elves are elves. Like a lot of people
They're
will mistake
assholes.
Eladrin for wood elves, for high elves. So
Yeah, I think what I learned in Kale Isles was Eladrin are assholes.
well, yeah, but yeah. So I mean, technically, Smegwick and Crexney are going to be the ones that are going to be the most kind of unique. where if there's like an APB out on a goblin, a lot of times because it's such a rare thing, any goblin is going to be scrutinized, and the same thing is going to be true about a Harengon. They're just really rare in the sovereignty, and you guys would all be aware of just how unique they are as it is in the sovereignty. So. I don't
And
even know if she has, because she has magic, but I can't remember what spells she has.
Smegwick will also at some point he will have a art, because at this, in my head, this one of the reasons why Smegwick doesn't re-summon Spitwit into other forms. Spitwit's super pissy about it. And he's just like, oh, I'm sorry, what the fuck? But I'm perfectly fine. You got a problem with this? So he will convince Spitwit that he has to change, and it's going to be okay, fine. Like, no, you can't be a pseudo dragon at all.
Oh.
I gotta resummon you completely different. I don't have to do it now, but we're going to have to do it before we get there.
Spitwick seems less than pleased.
Oh yeah, he will be pissy about it, but he Smegwick will be able to convince him. He's like, look, I get it. I'm sorry. I gotta do it too. God knows that Reggie knows about hair. I mean, look at his pasty pink skin. You think he knows about goblin complexion? Come on.
You think there will probably be a apology gift needed in your future? Is what you're getting from Smegwick, or not?
You
Smegwick,
already have a
Spitwick.
little horde.
You just you just
My
get this image of someone that you have no idea who they are, but the name Laura Bailey comes to mind. As she goes, but there's so many. Have you seen Will Wheaton's room? He has an entire room of dice.
Yeah.
So we will want to do. I will say, with the fact that you guys really aren't under that big of a time constraint, because you can take the rest of the day and maybe half of the day tomorrow to make alterations and things like that. And since two of you are skilled with a disguise kit, which part of that would include like needle and thread and stuff like that, I'll say that between Reggie and Arai, you guys can easily make any alterations that you need. The only thing that I'm going to say is going to be difficult is if you want to actually change his natural hair color, that is not something that is going to be a part of a disguise kit. If you wanted to give him a wig or something, that would definitely be something in disguise kit. But hair dye and stuff like that, because it is a significantly more arduous process. I would say you guys could definitely do that, but you would have to find supplies because you can make hair dyes out of a lot of different things. But you'd have to find supplies from the rest of the ship, and that I would actually make you have to roll on to see how effective it is.
Now, I've been thinking about this. Like, look, I better the expert what we have to work with. I'm worried about a prosthetic falling off at the wrong time. I'm thinking if we like do stuff with the makeup, just in general, like what's the proper term? Contouring. But I was thinking like maybe we ask Crexney, and we like maybe I'm a little bit more of a punk feel, and like nose rings, and they don't have to be actual piercings.
Crexney looks incredibly excited about giving you piercings, and then
not actual
slightly
piercings.
Dejected when you said not actual
Hey,
piercings.
look at me. What'd I say? No.
She still seems thrilled to be making jewelry.
Okay, that's allowed.
you see her taking her large bore needle and putting it slowly away.
All right, so we're going with Green Dragonborn, very high class lady, punk.
Well, punk-ish. It doesn't have to be like full on,
Punkish.
like, yeah.
All right. That's something we can definitely work with.
Nothing
Definitely
like
do it.
Anakin the Imperious.
What?
Anakin the Imperious. Oh, you ever ran into those guys before? They had like super spiky mohawks.
That is ringing a very faint bell. All right. Well, with all this set up, I think I know what to do. I will be getting to work. And Reggie is going to take everything he has and is just going to retreat back to his room down in his corner in the cargo hold. And he's just going to get right to work getting all these things set up.
So over the next, effectively, day, Reggie's able to make the modifications that are not necessary. The rest of you guys are able to kind of come up with different outfits and stuff that are not things that you would normally wear. Yeah, Aoi?
I would probably have something in my bag that's a little more formal.
Yeah. Basically, a combination of the other clothes that you guys just keep around for having clothes and access to Declan's very large ship. You guys are basically able to kind of concoct some costumes that are very outside of what you would normally wear. Aside from Arai, which, after you guys see him in his dress, looks very comfortable and like he wears this every day. Yeah, he's able... Reggie's able to kind of add some darts in and other things like that to give you just a very form-fitting dress that kind of gives you a remarkable amount of movement. Since I'm assuming, did you decide on the slit dress or? Okay, so yeah, there's a fair amount of movement built into it. The rest of you again don't have too much difficulty. Smegwick. After Crexney is done with you, you come out looking halfway between someone that should be running around yelling "Power to the people!" And a mad scientist. She's given you these massive goggles that kind of magnify your eyes to make you look
I blink.
very, very large. And surprisingly enough, you can see perfectly well in them. You're not sure how that works. You've got a bunch of piercings and stuff like that. She actually went and created like a case that fits around your elbow that makes it look like your elbow is at least partially mechanical. Like you missed a bone or something and an artificer has kind of fixed your arm for you. And so you are now part machine. And very... Go ahead.
Spitty, come on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You were still in the middle of it. Please finish, and then I'll say so.
And then describe to us what Spitwick looks like now.
Come on, don't be like... Okay. He goes around the corner. He goes and pick him up. Ow! Don't do... He picks him up, and you see what you think at first is just a... You know when cats just go fucking dead and they're just like, no, fuck you. You gotta carry me, asshole. Like, come on.
You hear that really low kind of guttural growl that cats get when they're really pissed at you. That.
Come on, show them. Come on, show them how pretty you look. Show him! And he's like, he throws Spitwit up in the air. He's like, what the fuck are you? And you suddenly see two wings flap out. And you see a cat flying.
He is giving you death stares.
Come on, show them! Like, flies down. And so you see a Tressum.
You watch as he gets up and he just turns himself so he's pointing his butt right at you and just sits there in front of you.
Yeah, so it's every other day, asshole. You still get to fly around. You still get to have your sense. You still get all this cool shit.
You guys see Aoi Kika comes out wearing kind of a nicer kind of formal dress, and you can see her scales. Remarkably enough, Reggie was good enough to be able to give them kind of an emerald gem dragon sheen, as opposed to a chromatic green. Just because the metallic, because you're metallic, right? Normally
Chromatic.
chromatic. Oh, you're normally chromatic. Okay. So yeah, he's
No
actually
better.
able to kind of give it kind of a sheen and a gloss to it that actually makes you look like an emerald dragonborn.
So more different, the better.
And then Reggie, what do you look like?
Well, I actually sent you a note about that.
Sure.
Just another detail about it. But while Reggie was getting all of this stuff ready for everyone else, he was already working on his own disguise. He's kind of keeping the same clothes because he's kind of keeping to the whole same nobility look. But when he comes out, he basically he used prosthetics to make his ears look just a little bit more human because he's normally a half elf. He put on basically a white wig, and he put on just a short white beard and mustache. Basically, he looks like Colonel Sanders now.
All of you have a strange craving for 11 herbs and spices.
But that was you last time.
It was.
But back then I was a much older Colonel Sanders with Alzheimer's. Now-
This is the variation Colonel Sanders that was like big in like what was it, the aughts, when it was the different like it was Norm Macdonald and then there was like one of the other guys, several different versions.
This one is more closely designed to that visual novel I Love You, Colonel Sanders, which is amazing, by the way.
I'm educated.
So that's what he looks like. He's not wearing glasses though, and as much as he pains to do it to help sell the disguise, he is actually not going to be taking his violin with him. Because he normally takes it everywhere he goes. It is like attached at his hip, literally. It is with much pain that he is not taking it with him this time.
Well, anything else?
Let me see. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, pick a voice that's like not too hard out of your range. That's just a little. Let me Warlock explain a bard to you.
I'll work on that later. All right, so
workshop
everyone. Yeah, we'll workshop it. All right, so everyone, I got all of your disguises and whatnot ready. Just little touch-ups here and there, some color changes. Smegwick got you your wig so that we don't actually do anything to your hair, but it still stays hidden. You're gonna still look completely different. I gave Smegwick what is basically an afro.
I'm not. What does the afro look like? Because Joshua might not be comfortable with that.
Who? Oh God, I'm blanking on his name. Who is that really metro like exercise aerobics instructor from like the
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons.
Smith just looks at you. No.
Is it? You got any better ideas?
Just give me something short and spiky wig. Just put it make it real easy. Don't the frick is this? What's up shy of a clown?
Look, I'm trying to find something that can actually fit your sculpture of a hairstyle.
I mean, surprisingly enough, hair is malleable, especially with water. So, you can't, I used to have hair down to my mid-back, and I was able to fit it under a wig. You can definitely do a lot of different things with wigs, especially if you have a wig cap.
All right, fine. Taking the fun out of it. Reggie goes back into the cargo hold to make alterations.
Nice try, asshole.
Door opens slightly. You just see this, and then it closes again. Oh yeah.
So, you are able to get basically kind of a
I mean, you might as well lean
anarchist.
into the punk. Yeah, you might as well lean into the punk rock thing.
Yeah, you get kind of an anarchist wig. That seems to fit the theme of your "we could rebuild him" outfit now. And when Declan comes around, and goes, "Well, rather impressive. I barely recognize all of you. So now that you guys can somewhat fit into Exelos, do you have any idea what exactly you're going to do while you're there? Are we just looking for a dock, or are you going to look for more information?"
For a doc, maybe an information if we can. If there's anything we can hear about. We got definitely. Crexy has to work on the ship to do repairs.
Makes sense. Well,
There's also, I mean, like whatever whatever your plan is for us getting to the other he's not even mentioning shit now. It's like the other location.
well, that we'll have
I don't
a
know.
conversation about that when we are not quite so close to a core city.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what's everyone else's name's gonna be?
Midori Naja.
Midori. What was the other part? Midori what?
Naja.
Naja.
Lovely name. Rest of you, do you have names for these disguises?
I will be known as Albert Galrondis.
Lovely. I cannot hear you. Sorry.
I am so tempted just to call him Arel.
Just change one letter.
No, see, the problem is that's the other character that I randomly mistake her for because she played it in my other campaign.
Who also hit on everyone.
Can you just a name that
You
doesn't
are
start with an A?
pigeonholed.
Can we go with that?
You are so pigeonholed.
Like even
No,
Zariah uses the same vowel structures.
That's a Z.
Starts with a Z and then I.
There's an in there. It's not Zaya. Zariah. Anyway.
I believe Mayor Elizabeth McGlynn has that one taken.
Say Casserole and just piss Curie off.
Oh, that would be good. Shoot. Okay. Dang it, names and tables now.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
so if I lean into this, I'm thinking of something more. I think something hit me like, chili bowl.
Chili bowl. Cool.
You're gonna tomato this, huh?
Victory!
Chili bowl, and this is like the little kitten. This is Vizier.
For just a brief instant, you slipped into Forrest Gump.
Yeah, and for a split second, you almost see Spidwick staring right into the fourth wall, holding a broken ketchup bottle and giving the most adorable puppy dog eyes ever. Yeah.
I'm making a different reference from what you got.
Pokemon!
No, I get it.
Alright?
Tien.
Tien. Okay.
Tien.
Cien. I was going to say Tien.
Sienne.
Okay.
Tien is actually someone I play softball with.
Cool. Well, then, I think we have everything.
Crexy needs a workshop approach for a bit.
Yeah. Well, since Crexy's going to be kind of working on the ship, and she's not currently here, well, for right now, we're going to say that Crexy's going to stay on the ship and do repairs that she can without a dry dock. And then if she magically shows up during our next session, then maybe she will have her own disguise that she will describe then. However, as Declan kind of gets you guys ready, unfortunately, that is where we're going to end for tonight.
Alrighty.
As always, if you missed any of this, I do upload all these to my YouTube channels, youtube.com/TrainerJody. Yeah, other than that, again, it's all for me today. I'll see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.
Bye.